Alright, back on the Bronco here. What I'm doing is I've got this thing up in the air a little bit. I'm going to show you what I've got going on here. So I've got clutch issue, and I think let the pedal out on an incline and it would jump like crazy. It wouldn't chatter quite so bad, but it would jump. So I started looking at this thing pretty good, and I was seeing how much oil residue this thing has on it, on this side of it. So I knew that we've got a migration of oil. Well, you can see obviously the bell housing's been wet, and everything here is basically, I just think it's just all soaked in oil. You can see just me doing that right there. You can see oil. So this whole disc has been permeated with oil, pressure plate and everything there too. Let me show you what's causing all that. Alright, down here underneath this thing, let me see if I got drop light. You can see the wetness in between right here. This is wet right there, and then it's wet up inside the rear main. So what's going on is this thing's got what looks like a combination of the two things. It's got that's an old cork gasket, so I imagine it's perished. And then this is a rubber insert inside here that's likely no good. And so we're going to have to pull that oil pan off of there. And I got to look, and it looks like they've done some exhaust modification on this thing. I don't know what they did right here, but right there they've cut that for some reason. I'm still not entirely sure why. But we're going to have to drain oil out of this thing, let it drip for a while, and then try to finagle that pan out of there. Now the one thing about these Fords is the oil pump is actually in the front of the engine, and the pickup tube is back here. So the problem is a lot of these you have to loosen the pan up and then take the oil pump pickup tube loose at the front, and the whole thing comes out. I think on this one I might be pulling the exhaust off of this thing. I don't know if I really need to, but I think I might want to. I've got the bolts up here on the exhaust manifold. I've got them soaking with some Kroil, some Cano Kroil here, so we're trying to get it to loosen up some. But we've definitely got our work cut out for us to do that. And customers are aware of it. They're okay with all that repair. We've got lots of cleaning to do up under here too, just because it looks like it's been leaking quite a long time up inside here. See all that. Plus, I would imagine that engine's probably sooted up a little bit and got some nastiness inside that pan. We got it all running pretty good. It just had timing issues, basically what it was. But it kind of looks as though somebody's gone in here and done some work to this thing, because it's got some different paint schemes on the back here. That may be factory, but it seems as though that may have been machine shop marking, but I could be wrong. Yeah, it's not. Anyway. And one thing too, this one's got a 4-speed in it. The old cast iron case 4-speed. Get the camera up here. It's got this big top on it right here. And that thing hits right here. So in order to get this transmission out, you basically have to put it in at a pretty steep angle and then climb it up in there. So it's pretty precarious. Otherwise, you take the seats out and you take the floor mat out, and then you pull this inner pan out of here, and then the whole thing slides back and then down. And then 4-wheel drive, I just kind of stuck it up in there. You can see it kind of rests on that lip right there instead of hopefully banging you in the head. Otherwise, you got to pull this boot off in here, which is kind of hard to get to because the inner floor mat actually shrinks. It's rubberized and it shrinks. Some issues with the exhaust too. May just pull that converter and cut all that out of there. Just get rid of all that because I'm not needing emissions on this old of a vehicle any longer. So, and it's been converted anyway. It's got, instead of a 2-barrel, it's a 4-barrel. Get my other light here. See if there's anything else I want to show you. Oh, there is. Now, right inside this clutch pivot, which is this piece right here, is pretty nasty. But the thing about this one here, sometimes there's a grease zerk on this, on some of these, but this one there's not. So the unfortunate thing is this thing's got to be taken apart and cleaned and